Hello there, digital peeps at YouTube's mkgtweety. I have been trying to make this video, waiting for the moment to make it for God knows how long now, and now I have the time. So it's going to be a kind of a mukbangy story time thing. One story my mom don't even know about. It's my experiences with bullying and how I was bullied. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So we're having, there's some peanut butter crackers. It's rich with peanut butter. There's my soup. And because I'm mkgtweety, you know, Tweety in a Tweety mug. There's diet iced tea in there, so how are we today, digital peeps? If you want to follow me on my second channel, basically, and want to know more weekly content, it is Instagram. It is at mkgtweety. All my socials will be linked in the description box below. Have a Pinterest, Tumblr, Wattpad, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the moniker mkgtweety. If you want to follow me here at YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button. It's mkgtweety, or you can go in the search bar and you can look it up. mkgtweety space Tweety, as in Tweety Bird. So, we were having broccoli key soup and, you know, just kind of finishing it up. Okay. So, now I'm going to preface this by saying that I was somebody that grew up with learning difficulties. Still do. Because you have to know the history of where this all stems from. We're outside today. It's nice out this October. So wind's going to be blowing. Cars are going to be whizzing by. Birds are going to be chirping. Wind chimes are going to go off. If you notice anything here on my face that's red and splotchy, please forgive me. I have dry skin in those areas, and when I pick them, they tend to get red and splotchy, but we're putting something on my face that's making it go away. So let's put it here that way. Okay? Wind's blowing, so please excuse me. We're outside. So you can hear my wind chimes going off, everything. So, in '87, I got diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, at 4 years old. Even when I was 2.5, there were people telling my mother and dad that I need to go to, we have a mental health hospital here in Pittsburgh. And it's called Western Psychiatric, or Western Psych, to shorten it. Okay? And it is a mental health hospital. If you are having an eating disorder, this is where you go. If you're having a mental health crisis and you need help to figure out, hey, there could be something mentally wrong, this is the hospital that you go to. They have doctors in there, so you can get diagnosed if you think you have something. And in that hospital, they have what they call a child development wing in the hospital, a department. Okay? And they were telling my parents to take me down there because even at 2.5, I was getting hyperactive. So that gives you a little bit of context as to why they think I have, you know. I'm 2 years learning disabled. I kind of was behind, you know, as a baby a little bit, but I managed to catch up and meet all my milestones and all that. I was a special ed person, meaning I was in special ed, actual special ed. I had an IEP on me, which stands for an Individualized Educational Plan. And this is where it gets opened up once a year. It's usually this time in October, November. You have the parent-teacher conference and all this kind of stuff. And when I was in, I kept noticing my mother, like, going to, seeing all these, you know, why she keep going to these teachers every year and all this kind of stuff, and, you know, with my dad or what, you know. And I got sick and tired of it. I was in 4th grade, I got sick and tired of what was going on. And I demanded my mom and dad tell me what's going on. that was when they sat me down and they said, well, we don't like to keep secrets in the family. Because I had grown up knowing that I was different. I didn't know how or why I was different. All I knew is that I was different. And I really couldn't figure out how or why I was different. I have pine needles just raining down on me, bitches. Okay. Anyway. It's okay. Anyway. That was when they sat me down and they told me what was going on with me. After all the experts that I've been to, saw and all this kind of stuff. It was a month before my 35th birthday. This is March 12th, 2018. My birthday is in April the 21st. I have the Queen of England's birthday. Tony Danza has my birthday. Iggy Pop has my birthday. Angie McDowell has my birthday. And Broadway legend herself, Patti LuPone, has my birthday. Okay? The Queen of England, the one that just died a few years ago. Now Charles is king, and he has Harry, and there's William, and there's, you know, and Kate, and all them, Meghan Markle, all them, yeah. Okay? And we decided we're going to get me Social Security. And because of that, I had to get tested to see if I had anything else. So we went to an autistic doctor who was a heavy accented German woman doctor. You could tell that this woman was from Germany. And she specializes in diagnosing and treating people that have autism. And she was like, after she tested me and everything, I actually have high functioning autism. So I learned at, 34 3/4, a month before my 35th birthday, you could say at 35 years old, I learned that I was a high functioning autistic. And when I went home to kind of figure out, okay, what is this? Let me, all the symptoms that I kept seeing were, oh yeah, that's me. So, can't get a job because of it. Even though I work in childcare, I like to say I'm a babysitter, preschool teacher, nanny. I had 4 years of vocational childcare. I was a Girl Scout. I did, if you saw the video before this, which was the craft video, oh no, it was 3 months. The video before that one, I made a craft video here. And one of the things that I said is I was a Girl Scout. I was from 1st grade up until I left high school in 02. And when I was in 8th grade, I got my silver award in Girl Scouting. And when I was in 12th grade, I got my gold award. And I did it all with learning difficulties. Those are the PEEPS. So, okay. So, anyway. So that's the history of me a little bit. Now, I would go to school wondering why I would be singled out. Why am I in this line instead of not this line? Or all this kind of stuff. And, they were going to take, the school was closing the year, I was actually in kindergarten for 2 years. Because my mother thought that the kindergarten wasn't being providing enough learning. And my mother actually thought that was her part. She thought she did a smart thing. So, I actually went to kindergarten for 3 years. I got held back from kindergarten. Not kidding when I say this, those are nothing really happened to me when I was in kindergarten. Nothing really, until I got to elementary school. I got to 1st grade. And this was like 1991, around in that area. So, I was a 90s kid, okay? I was that bitch that had to have Lisa Frank photos and shit. Yeah. So, I'm the Lisa Frank stand, still am, kind of thing. And, we had trailers for classrooms because they were actually working on adding on to the building or whatever. But when I went to kindergarten, they was going to be the last year that school was going to be there. And so they wanted all the kids there to go to this one specific school near where my grandmother's sister lived, my Aunt Chubby. Okay, my grandmother, my dad's mother, had several siblings. They had passed away before I ever came along, kind of thing. And the only one who were left was my grandmother and my great aunt. Her name was Helen. Balawadra was the full name when she had gotten married. Uh, she had a husband who would have been my Uncle Eddie, but he passed away right before I was born, so I never got to meet him or know of him. And my aunt, she got she had chubby cheeks and she was little and it kind of just stuck, so we called her Chub or Chubby. So it was like Aunt Chub or Aunt Chubby. So it was just something that stuck. I never called her Aunt Helen because I already had an Aunt Helen. My grandpa's sister was named Aunt Helen, so. And those were the only two left out of the family, which was my grandmother and my Aunt Chub. And right next to my Aunt Chub was an elementary school, and it was called George Washington Elementary. And they were going to take everybody that was in Grandview School, which is what it was called. I live 30 minutes outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I swear you don't need to know, but that's generally where I live at. That's the vicinity, okay? And they wanted to take everybody and put them there. My mom didn't want me to go there. She wanted me to go there at another elementary school in my school district. And it was called Centennial Elementary. So that's where I went for my 4 years. It was at the time, it's a K through 4 school at the time. Now it's just, and then we had a middle school and then a 9th grade building and then a high school. Now our school district is set up to where we have a school that's K through 5. Now we have a middle school for 6, 7, and 8. Then there's a high school 9 through 12. So, my little Tweety mug. I thought a putty tat. A pretty little putty tat. I did see a putty tat. Oh, that putty tat is after me again. Anyway. So, when I went to 1st grade, probably when all the bullying started, I think because kids figured out that I was in special ed, and that's why. So, a bus things is, there were, fly, bee, whatever. Kids would see me and they said, "Ew, don't sit next to me. Ew, I'm going to catch whatever you have. Ew." 4 eyes, because I had glasses on back in the day. I don't need them anymore. And I had glasses. They would call me 4 eyes. We've probably all heard it a time or two. Kids would throw book bags at me. They would throw rocks at me. They would tell me, I think, "Ew, you're so stupid. You're so ugly." Just all that kind of stuff. And I would brush it off. It's just petty little things that I would brush off. And didn't really think much anything of it. You know, it's just, these are kids that are dumb and stupid. They just don't know what they're doing. Never really told my mom. I didn't think it was relevant. I didn't think at the time that it needed to be told. I was fine. I walked to the school bus by myself, kind of thing. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to burp, Digital Peeps. But anyway. So, now we're going to get to the one instance of bullying that, and by the time I got to high school, it all stopped. They all wondered why I was in special ed. I am a special ed. I had an IEP, which stands for an Individualized Educational Plan. And what it is it is a set of papers that talks about what are we going to do for the child this year in school. What is she supposed to have when she's taking a test? If she's mainstream, meaning she's out of a special ed class that she's so exceptional in that she could be placed in a regular ed, what they call mainstreaming now, room, and she can follow along and she can keep up and all this kind of stuff. I'm actually a slow learner a little bit. Anyway, so when I got to high school, it all stopped. So we're going to talk about 3 giant instances of the bullying, and this is where meat comes in. Because you have to understand my history and where I've come from, where I've been. I moved here a long time, way long time ago. Oh, I think it was it, I can't remember. Almost 2011 when I moved here. I can't remember. It's been so long that, you know. And I lived like 5 minutes away from here. So I was very close with my dad. This is where we're sitting at, is my grandma and pappy's property here. Because you might have seen me, you know, inside or whatever, and I'm doing, that was my grandma's house. This is my grandma and grandpa's house and stuff. And when they died, when my pappy died, 9/10/11 is his death date, he left us the house, so, in his will. So he gave it to my dad and all this. And first, my mom doesn't even know about this first instance of bullying, because it was just something I never said to anybody except my childhood best friend, who was my neighbor boy at the time. We are good friends. We convicts on Instagram, DM, as of today. We have like this long cover, you know, it's like, hey, you know, I said this to you, and did you see this? And, you know, just, he is an art teacher in the other side of my state, near Bethlehem, PA, near Reading, out that way, near towards the Philly side. I live, like I said, southwestern, Pittsburgh side. 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, that's where you don't need to know, but that's generally where I'm at. And, he was the only one I told this story to. So, there was a red-headed girl that would come to the bus. Oh, I was in, it had to have been 4th grade, I think. Was it 3rd, 4th grade, 2nd grade? Somewhere around that time frame. I can't remember exactly. It's been so long, but, you know. And she was one of these, she was a red-headed girl. She had glasses on. And she lived, like, right up the street. Like, the bottom of the street is where the bus stop was. She lived, like, a couple houses up. And she would always come out pissy and moany, and it's like, I don't need to go to school, bitch. Why am I even here? You know, she was one of those girls. She thought she was all that in a bag of chips, and she wasn't. And I was the kind of person, I would just be like, hi. I wouldn't say anything to anybody else. I'd just say hi and just keep to myself, basically. And this one day, she goes, don't look at me, bitch. And I'm like, excuse me, baking powder? Like, in my head. Like, all I did was say hi to you. What is wrong with you? And she's like, quit looking at me. And I'm thinking, don't look at me, you ugly bitch, is what she kept agonizing the situation. School bus would come, she'd be in the back, nothing would go on. Next day, and this just started to build up over several days and several whatevers. And I didn't really say anything to anybody. I just kind of looked at it as she was just a grumpy girl that just didn't want to go to school, kind of a thing. You know, it was just like, okay, whatever. And there was one day she got so agitated with me. And she's like, I told you not to look at me, bitch. Takes her fist, like this, and rams me right in the stomach. Now, she tried to do it a second time. The second time when it happened, it wasn't nearly as hurty as the first time. And when it happened, I'm like, ow! It really knocked the wind out of me. And when the school bus was coming, I didn't say anything on the school bus. My stomach hurts for a little bit. I kept wondering, what just happened? What just happened here, right? Never told a teacher, never told my mother, only told my childhood best friend. Who's got an Instagram, if you want to go follow it, I think it's @LauraKirk. I'll look at them. I don't know. I'm just saying, just look for Ross Kirk on Instagram. I think you'll find him. I know he's got one for his teaching and one for his normal stuff. I follow him, his sister. I know he's got a brother, but I don't know. Yeah, I follow his brother on Instagram. I follow his parents on Instagram because they're our neighbors. They are. And I don't say anything to anybody. I'm going to tell my mom because she didn't need to know. I know I should have. But I'm like, oh. My stomach was not sore by the end of the day, but I was just so stunned I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to, She's like, you better not look at me again or this will happen again kind of thing. She tried doing it a second time, and it wasn't as hurty as the first time. But I didn't really say anything. I was just so stunned. I didn't know how to. So, well, that just really happened. Well, there's the first instance. And I don't know whether it was because I looked ugly to her, if I was in special ed, I don't know. I believe the girl's name was Tiffany. You know, one of those teenage girls. I don't know how old she was. But he thinks she was old at a bag of chips, and she clearly wasn't. I don't think nobody saw it. I think it was just me and her at the time. And when she did it, all the other kids were coming around, getting on the bus, but, you know. Okay, so that was the first instance. And then it was sometime later, I don't know how long after, she did it again. And after that, I really never saw her again. I don't even know if she went to middle school. I don't know whether she moved, if her mother thought she had problems. Like, she's just picking fights with everybody and I have to move somewhere else. I don't know where she is to this day. I just don't know. Now, I will tell you that all the stories, when the people in them, I forgave these people a long time ago. Because it's not right to hold on to grudges. So the second time, we're going to take you back to middle school. This was, I had to have been I was in 8th grade at the time. So this would have been fall of 97, spring of 98. And we're going to take you to gym class. Now, our gym class, okay, you had to bring gym clothes. So you had to bring like an old shirt, sweatpants, or whatever, some sort of old pants. It could be shorts, like a gym short kind of a thing. And you change and all this kind of stuff. Now, there's 2 girls in this instance. And the one girl was named, her name was Chrissy. And she was one of those white girls that had the scrunchied hair. You know, it was curly and scrunchy, the 90s scrunched hair, right? And there was a black girl that was, I'm assuming a friend of hers or whatever. I believe her name was Danielle. And she was a light-skinned black girl. So we don't know where this is going. And she, like I said, Chrissy, she started doing this thing where, don't get me out in kickball. I'm like, what? What is going on? She kept, like, threatening me with that. Didn't say anything to anybody. My kids are just being kids kind of a thing. She was like, don't you get me out, you little bitch. Because if you do, all hell's going to break loose. I didn't say anything to anybody. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a Kleenex. I had to blow my nose. I just went and I had a Kleenex right there because I knew my nose was going to be needing blown, digital peeps. So please forgive me for that. Ah, much better. I can breathe now. And she we were in a phase in gym where we were playing kickball a lot. And anytime we would play it, he's like, don't get me out, bitch. I'm like, what is your problem, girlfriend? And so this one time we were playing, this is the incident that's now happening. I decided I'm going to play second base. And ball got kicked. Ball was thrown to me. And Chrissy was running towards second base. She was a white girl that thought she was like ghetto and all that shit. Oh yeah. We've all seen them, She thinks she's all that in a bag of chips too. And I get her out of second base. I'm so excited and so thrilled that I had done that. I'm like, finally I got this bitch out. Karma has a funny way of showing up, right? And I went, uh-oh, when gym was over. I'm thinking, oh shit, I got her out. Oh no. I wasn't supposed to. And she comes up to me while we were changing and getting ready to go home. Because it was the 8th period and, 7th, 8th period. I forget. And, you had to wait till the bell rang. And then you can go up to the lockers and go home and all this kind of stuff. And she comes up to me and goes, why'd you get me out, you little bitch? I told you not to get me out, you little bitch. I'm like, excuse me? Baking powder? Like, hello? I go, we were playing a game. Why are you, so, And she's like, I told you not to get me out. You are so getting it. And I'm like, whatever, girlfriend, whatever. And the gym teacher's like, settle down, girls, settle down, girls. And we're like, sorry. So I grabbed my stuff, and you can either go this way or this way out of the gym. Okay, so, I decided I'm going to go up this way because that's where my lockers were on that side of the school. And I get there, and there's Chrissy and Danielle, who are laughing, hamming it up, having a good time, going, yeah, let's get her this time, like one of those kind of things. And I have all my stuff with me. And I start going up the stairs. And I get to, there's steps, and then there's like a landing, and then there's more steps, and then you're at the door, another set of doors. And so I get to the square pad, and they're holding me back. I'm like, get away from me. What are you doing? We're having a struggle, right? And that was when I feel hands on me. Like, right here. Like this way. And I feel them shove me down the stairs. And I start to tumble. And everything's flying everywhere. And out of the corner of my eye, when I get to the bottom of the stairs, out of the corner of my eye, I could see them running up the rest of the stairs laughing. And giving like a high five, like, yes, girl, we did it, bitch. Kind of thing, right? And it was the first time I'd ever cried in school. I'd gotten nervous before and have barfed a little. Who hasn't? So when I get stressed or scared, I tend to barf and all that kind of stuff. Nervous, it's okay. So then I hurry up and I try to get to my locker, and I'm boo-hooing. I could have gotten seriously hurt. I could have had a concussion. I could have had all these kind of things. And so I get on the bus, and I'm in the front seat, very first seat when you come into the bus this way. And I'm just like, don't talk to me, don't say anything to me. I just want to be curled up and die, kind of as a fetal position. And I'm boo-hooing. And these girls, people in the bus, they go, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? Now, I don't give my name out. For privacy reasons, I go by mkgtweety. So we'll use my screen name as the example. They go, mkgtweety, what's wrong, girlfriend? What's wrong? I said, I don't want to talk about it. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm not crying. And I'm trying to hold back the tears. And they're just, And they said, well, I hope you're okay. And I said, don't talk to me. Just don't. Just, no. And when I got off the bus, I really started, like it was almost hysterical for how much crying I had. And, I got home with my mom, who was home at the time. I think she came home early from work. I think she had like a half day at work. My mom was a hairdresser. Been one since 75. She retired in 2021 after doing hair for almost 50 years. So